Hello, people. How's it going? Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Carabao Cup time. Carabao Cup time. Arsenal versus Manchester City. Hard to imagine a bigger one. Genuinely hard to imagine a bigger one. The team that is leading the league against the team that is chasing the leaders of the league. Of course, Arsenal vs Man City has been one of those bigger talking points over the last 3, 4, maybe even years. Let's be real. Lots of talks, lots of discussions, lots of disagreements and everything. But most of the time, obviously, Man City has come out on top. But on this Sunday, there is a chance, there is a possibility that Arsenal could actually win their first goddamn trophy in 6 freaking years. Not to mention the first Carabao Cup in over 3 decades. So we're gonna talk about all that. The massive game. Arsenal obviously are through in the Champions League as well, beaten by Leverkusen. Phenomenal goal by Eze. We are moving on to Sporting Lisbon. So there's have been lots of stuff happening. England call-ups as well for quite a few Arsenal players. We're gonna get into that. But of course, the main focus, more or less, we're gonna be touchy-goey about all this. Of course, is going to be the Carabao Cup final. Arsenal versus Man City. We'll see how this goes. We'll see where we land, but it's gonna be a fun stream. It's been a while, haven't been live for 3 days, so let's do this, people. Let's do this. So smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new around here. And of course, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the live chat. Big up, Mubarak. Hope you're doing well. Big up if Arsenal Carabao brings impressive. Yeah, it's going to be massive. Definitely is going to be massive. Timber Odegaard available. Well, good for Arsenal. For me personally, I care more about Timber than Odegaard. I'm not going to lie. Smash the likes. Big up, Cooper. Buffalo Sabres fan by the looks of things. So go smash the likes. Listen to him. Big up, Marlon. We are the. Nah, it might not be it. It's very hard to ball a final. Let's be real. Only way you can ball a final if you lose 5-0. Like, you cannot ball a final because to get there, first things first, you have shown that you're not a baller. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be. Big up, Cooper. Big up. Big up, TA. Big up, Tough TV. Big up. Do you think it's gonna have more possession in it? Who's gonna have more possession in the game between Arsenal and Man City? Ooh, I think it's gonna be Man City. It's gonna be Man City. It might not be a humongous margin, but it's definitely gonna be Man City because when we watch Arsenal play the massive teams, more specifically Liverpool, Man City, we don't play as the number one team, so we don't hold possession as much. Let's be real. And we try to go counterattacks because I genuinely cannot remember the last time when Arsenal looked like a main number one favorite team against Man City. Like, it's been that long. It's been years and years. We always play the second role as not the favorites, but second favorites, basically. We always are the so-called underdog. So I expect Man City to have more possession. All good. Havertz got called up by England. Wait, you what, mate? You what? Big up, Gunnar SA. Big up. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Albo. Big up. Yeah, we need a win. We need a trophy. We need to finally break that mental block we have as a team. This team that hasn't won as a unit. This team that hasn't tasted the sweet taste of success needs to do it this year. Needs to do this in the Carabao Cup final. Because for me personally, if they do it, we're going to win the league. If we don't, I will have very big questions whether we can win the league or not, to be honest. Even though we have at the moment a 7-point lead, at the same time, it is 3 points a game in hand, so that's 4. Still have to go to Etihad. By winning that Carabao Cup, that's going to give them extra advantage. That if it goes south there, it's just 1 point or something like that. And it's then anyone's game, so trust me. We must win that Carabao Cup. It's been 30 plus years since we won this stuff, so we must. We absolutely must. I'm good. Big up. What's my prediction? I think Arsenal are gonna win 3-1. Arsenal are gonna win 3-1. You can laugh at me, you can be disrespectful towards me about these predictions, but hey, I said we're gonna beat 3-1. We're gonna beat Leverkusen. It was 2-0, and people laughed at me. So I'm not gonna lie, don't give a damn. Genuinely, don't give a damn. Big up AFC always. Big up AFC always. Big up, big up, big up. Winning the Champions League puts our club on the map in terms of we are elite and nobody can chat to us. Not anymore. The only, genuinely, if we would win the Champions League, right? If we would win the Champions League, only thing that rival fans, and I mean here Liverpool, Chelsea, City, and that's about it, to be honest. Only thing they could say, and Man United, by the way, the only thing they could say to us is we have more Champions Leagues than you got. But to be honest, I couldn't care less because I have Champions League. I actually will have seen it in my lifetime because let's be real, there are countless Arsenal fans who have never seen it and unfortunately never will. But hey, if I actually manage to witness Arsenal, if I manage to witness Arsenal winning the Champions League, that will be what it feels like a top 5 all-time my life moment. Genuinely, that's what it feels like because there were stages at some point it felt like it's never going to happen. Still feels surreal that we are even close to that because the last time we were even in the semi-final, it was literally 18 years ago. And we were in the final 20 years ago. So definitely it's been a hell of a long one. Timber ain't fit, probably. I think with Timber, it's a touch and go subject. Genuinely, I feel it's a touch and go subject. It might come to a point where he plays maybe on painkillers, definitely. Big up, Reedy. Let's go. Let's do this. Come on. Let's do this. Is this shoe Pep gonna do a press conference to announce that he's leaving at the end of the season? I have no idea because Pep Guardiola over the last year and a half, more specifically and more eloquently has talked about it. He has spoken about the fact that it might be time, it might not be time. He always beats around the bush. Let's just put it that way. He never says it as it is. Now, the thing is, looking at Man City, how they play, what they do, how everything is looking for them, I would understand why Pep Guardiola is relieving. I would understand that 100%. Because also, there is this saying, you should leave football before football leaves you. And that's to a degree what happened to Arsene Wenger, for example, in my opinion. He left a bit too late because he should have left when the last time we won the FA Cup. Because then the legacy of him wouldn't have that black spot on it. Like it's like a fly on a wedding cake type of situation. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, this saying that leave football before football leaves you, and you can say that about any sport and any person who should retire, any player or manager who should resign maybe. I think this could be Pep's time. In finals, Arteta wins. Can't believe I'm praising him. To be honest, Arteta has been to one final in his managerial career, and he has won it. And Arteta, as a player, has never lost at Wembley, if I'm not mistaken. So he has 100% winning record there. So hey, copium and hey, ho, and all this stuff is going on here. We need to win the next 4 Premier League games in a row. Yeah, definitely. If we beat City at Etihad, I think it's like 90% chance we are winning the league. Especially if the gap remains the same. Let's just put it that way. If it's still the 7 points, well, okay, City beat game in hand. They beat Palace, it's 4 points. But if we beat City at Etihad, it's 7 points again. And I think if that is the case afterwards, we are going on to winning the league 100%. Let's just put it that way. Never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually confident for once. Yeah, that's the it's the thing. You can see the emotions. See, first things first. Albo says, I cannot believe I'm praising him. Second thing, I never thought I'm actually confident for once. And this is the biggest trap with Arsenal you are always in. Because as soon as you start to feel comfortable, confident, inspired as an Arsenal fan, they always manage to do something to shit all over your parade. It's always like that. And I'm not gonna lie, as I'm saying we're gonna beat City 3-1 in the finals, because I desperately want to win the Carabao Cup. Let's be real. And I'm not predicting Arsenal loss in general. I also have in my head this instance where this part of my brain, there is a part of my brain basically saying that it could go south. Genuinely, don't be surprised if it goes south. Let's just put it that way. I'm not confident, but I trust the team to a degree that they can do the job. Because we have played against City countless times in the last years, and we have held our own more or less. It's been a very close game, sometimes lucky goal for them, sometimes lucky goal for us. And we have managed to sometimes come out on top of them. They have managed to come out top on us. Usually it's at homes, of course. But with City, yeah, this season, City is just not convincing. Especially looking at City's team. Especially the City's team that's currently looking how they got smashed by Real Madrid. And looking at how they're playing in the league, how they looked against West Ham. Is also the fact that Mark Gehi, the center back from Crystal Palace, if you didn't know, he cannot play in the finals. He cannot play on Sunday. Obviously, that doesn't diminish the fact that they have some good defenders, right? Your Diash's, Kusanovs, Akes, and all this stuff. But he cannot play because he was signed after the first round of the semifinals. Semenyo can, though, because he got signed before the first round of the semifinals. So it's going to be interesting to see, because for me, City's defense looks more solid with Gehi in it. So it's going to be a very interesting situation how that's going to look. Arsenal does this for me. Damn, Gunnar C does not believe Arsenal can do anything. He genuinely does not believe we can win a trophy. Let's just put it that way. We cannot beat City. To be honest, I understand also the skepticism, because as we are on top of the table, quarterfinals Champions League, finals of Carabao Cup, quarterfinals of FA Cup, we don't look too convincing at certain games. Usually, when we play these teams like Man City and Liverpool, those two more specifically, we play from defense. We invite the pressure. And with Arsenal, the biggest issue, as solid as our defense is, when they invite the pressure, 9 times out of 10, they crumble. And for me, that is the thing. Arteta doesn't have the guts to impose the style he wants to play on the other team. And for me, that is a big issue. That's the biggest drawback. And that is a massive drawback, ironically enough. But looking at the previous games against City, it's a coin toss, let's just put it that way. But don't be surprised if Arsenal win 3-1. Don't be surprised if Arsenal lose 3-1. But as an Arsenal fan, I'm going to go with my heart. I'm not going to go with my brain, because that would be a different score. I'm going with my heart and saying 3-1 Arsenal. That's on TV. If anyone wants to watch the game on weekend, it's Sky TV. Why am I doing promotion? They're not paying me. F that. 33 years since we last won the Carabao Cup. Paul Merson scored a goal against Chris Wood. See? 33 years, over 3 decades, as we talked in the beginning of the stream. Definitely, it's been a while. Genuinely. To put it in perspective, let's just put it that way. The last time we won the the Carabao Cup, I was born that year. Let's just put it that way. That was the last time we won the Carabao Cup. I was born that year. That's how long. I didn't even know who Arsenal was that year. That's just insane. I was hesitant to Leverkusen because the first leg was shit, but in one-off game. Yeah, exactly. But in one-off game, anyone can beat anyone. Over 2 legs, to a degree as well, anyone can beat anyone. Let's just put it that way. My prediction is 2-2. We'll go to pens, 5-4 Arsenal. I can see that. I can definitely see this game going to penalties. 100% I can see this game going to penalties. I would not be surprised if this game drags into extra time or penalties. Definitely wouldn't be surprised. If he wins Champions League, I'll get an Arteta tattoo. This is coming from Arteta also. Okay, now, anyone who's watching, clip this, and if we win the Champions League, this is going to be a TikTok. This is going to be a YouTube short. And I'm gonna put this and I'm gonna post it everywhere. And I'm not gonna stop until I see that tattoo. Just saying. Yeah, if we don't win it, our season could definitely fall apart. Definitely, there is a possibility. If we don't win the FL Cup, we got champion. Yeah, but that's not an excuse for a club like Arsenal, for the stature of the club like Arsenal. If all the Arsenal fans, most of the Arsenal fan base, want to run around and say the biggest club you've ever seen, the best club, third biggest club in England, and all this stuff, no trophy is too small. No trophy cannot be dismissed. And if we lose that trophy, if we lose that final, no chance in hell you should go, oh, but there is still more other competitions. Yes, there is. We cannot forget that. But that's not a goddamn excuse. That's not a goddamn excuse. It's going to be pain if we don't win it. I'm not going to lie. When City won the treble, they also won the Super Cup and Club World Cup. So basically, they won 5 trophies and are the first English Cups to do it. Yeah. But let's be real, the Club World Cup and Super Cup, they don't hold as big of a value. Everyone's talking about the treble. Everyone's talking about the quadruple potential, which let's be real, it's pretty much impossible. The five trophies, it's not as highly regarded. Let's just put it that way. But still, 5 trophies to do, that's a massive, massive thing. Feels like unachievable. Let's just put it that way. Pep should manage Spain. Maybe in time. Maybe in time. Yeah, that is also, it feels like sometimes Pep is with that. He needs money and big players to actually do good. That is definitely one of those things sometimes when I just read about managers and look at their careers and what clubs they have managed and who they have developed and everything, definitely feels that way. But at the same time, you cannot disregard the fact that at any club he has been at, pretty much every single player has improved drastically, has just skyrocketed in value, skyrocketed in abilities, and has been phenomenal world-class player. Like, you also cannot deny that. Big up, Gavin. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well. Well, let's just say 50-50. We're in a hunt to win trophies. We haven't won in decades. Yeah, we last won 8.5. Yeah, we last won the Carabao Cup in the 20th century. Let's just put it that way. The last time we won Carabao Cup, it was still the 20th century. That's actually kind of insane if you think about it. Yeah, we cannot get carried away. Same guy who said the ball made him to lose to Newcastle. Relax, Marlon, you negative Nancy. But it's, yeah, Arteta definitely, yeah. So that's the big thing. Yeah, AFC always also. See, AFC always, as well as Arteta out and all this stuff, but he also believes that Arsenal are going to do it. It's going to be 2-2, and at extra time, Arsenal are going to nick it. I think it's going to be 3-1. Whether it's going to be full-time, extra time, I don't know. Might be penalties. We might win 3-1 on penalties. Who knows? But that means Roya has to save 4. So, nah, that's not happening. Yeah, Man City, it is definitely, it can be gone, and Real Madrid exploited that to the maximum extent. So 2-1 extra time, let's see. Yeah, Kusanov has been playing well, but again, he lacks that experience. Let's just put it that way. Kusanov, pretty much besides Ruben Dias, John Stones, Nathan Ake, most of the players just lack, and Guardiola, obviously, but they lack experience. But not all of them are available as well, so definitely it is a bit of an interesting one. Do you build a statue of Arteta if we win? Yes. Like, if you do a quad, there should be no discussions. He can get a mural. He can get a trophy. Statue outside the Emirates. I could not give 2 flying Fs because he's gonna do something that's pretty much no one has ever done, and something that there's a big possibility not many will repeat ever in their lifetime. Jurgen Klopp has been close to that, but he fell short. So there are the accomplishment like that cannot go by ignored. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it like that. I'm not Robbie, first of all. I'm not from AFTV, right? But this year I am turning 33. Yeah, This year, I'm turning 33. Seriously. 1987, when we beat Liverpool in the final of the league, Charlie Nicholas scored. Good old days. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Eugenius the Jazz. Hope you're doing well. If Arteta wins the quad, is statue. Yeah, you see, statue should be gold, right? At the same time, it's in London and North London and everything. You know how it is on the streets, right? And everything, like, I'm not going to get into details, but having a pure gold statue outside the Emirates, you should definitely then you should have a 24/7 security around it all the time. Like, just put it that way. I'm gonna tell you this much. Autocorrect on my phone, as soon if I have a phone, autocorrect is switched off. If I buy a new phone, also I instantly switch off autocorrect, because that, like, word suggestion I switch off and autocorrect I switch off, because those two things really piss me off, because they more annoy me and hinder me when I type and message someone more than anything. It doesn't even help, actually. It's not like I cannot spell words, like, and all this stuff, you know. I just put it that way. Definitely, it's not like that. I cannot spell. But yeah, Carabao Cup final. Oh, bloody hell. Arsenal. Let's see. We can't add that. Arsenal stats have been good. Yeah, Arsenal. Arteta as well. I'm not gonna lie. Credit where credit is due to Mikel Arteta for the game against Everton and game against Leverkusen. He has set it up actually pretty decently. He has made the right substitutions, and they have made the right impact. So credit where credit is due. Let's just put it that way. Arteta has done a very good job in the last two games. Maybe the game overall, the gameplay hasn't been exciting, but it is what it is. We have to accept it. It's because of the league, and it's because of everything. So watching other leagues, completely different situation. I just put it that way. But yeah, Arteta subs have been on point recently, especially the balls of Arteta to actually sub on Max Dauman against Everton in the last minutes, and he actually basically saves the day against Leverkusen as well. The subs made a massive impact. Arsenal subs, if I'm not mistaken, Arsenal substitutions have scored the most amount of goals in Premier League. For the amount of subs we make, which as well, if I'm not mistaken, is actually not the most as well in the league, if I'm not mistaken. They have actually scored the most goals, if my memory doesn't deceive me, still to this day. Like, he's not a novice anymore. Yeah, but no. Somehow, after 6.5 years in charge, still cannot do the things right. Still makes the same mistakes. Trafford starting in goal for the final. For me, I want Raya in goal for this. Yeah, I don't want to see Kepa in this final. I genuinely don't want to see Kepa in this final in goal. As much as Kepa has done a very decent job in the league, in the knockout stages, in the finals, I want to see David Raya in goal. Especially since after this game we have international break. Like, who the hell cares? So I really want to see David Raya in goal. I just put it that way. David Raya, definitely. Start Raya, then if penalty. Nah, it doesn't matter anymore, to be honest. Doesn't matter anymore, to be honest. Doesn't matter anymore. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, for me, the Kepa penalties, it's also overrated. Let's just put it that way. It's not like, it feels like sometimes when David Raya is in goal for penalties, it feels like it's like having Pericek in goal, who saved nothing, or Ramsdale, who saved none of those penalties. At the same time, penalties is a tricky business. Let's just put it that way. It's a very, very, very tricky business, to say the least. But at the same time, I get your point. Wasn't it that same Kepa guy that refused to be subbed off the lot? Yes. That's the same Kepa guy who told Mauricio Sarri to shove it, basically, when he wanted to sub him off for penalties. Yeah. Definitely. That is the same. That is the same, Kappa. So definitely, it's. What's your starting 11? Oh, let's do this. To be honest, we can do this. Starting 11 for the for Champions League. I wish Champions League final. Well, we all know it's going to be 4-3-3. First things first. Let's be real. We already all know that, so we might as well do it. So yeah, starting 11. Starting 11 for me. For the final, since it is a final and quite a bit is on the line, let's just put it that way, I want the best we have available on the pitch. Genuinely, no questions asked, none of this, rotation crap. I want the best on the pitch. Because it's a final, we have a chance to get a trophy, add another trophy to our cabinet. First final in 6 years. No excuses, no bullshit. I want the best available. Genuinely. No, nothing like that. The issue with this is I don't know how the situation with Yuri and Timber is looking. I genuinely have no idea how Timber is looking. Because looking at the information basically I got online, it's not that much. It's definitely not that much available for Yuri and Simba. Even though he's available from the latest talks, there are no new injury concerns for Arsenal. On Timber and Odegaard, Arteta basically said that we have another session tomorrow, so let's see if they can make it. So basically, it feels like they both have day-to-day injuries, and we're going to see what happens. Let's just put it that way. And I guess we have to play Ben White if Timber is not available. If Timber is available, well, then it goes without saying. Let's just put it that way. It just goes without saying. We have to play Timber if he is available. Where is it? I'm leaning towards Martinelli for the left back, for the left wing. I'm not gonna lie, especially since Arteta needs a midfield winger who can track back to defense when they are on a counter. Martinelli is gonna be perfect for that. So overall, my 11 is very predictable. Only change I would make is if, well, let's be real, Timber is available instead of White. That would be the only change I would be making. Because if it was up to me, I would, like, we all talk about these things, right? Every single stream, when we talk about these things, we say that we would want to see, for example, Havertz in the 10 or Saka on the left and all this stuff, Norgard instead of Zubimendi. Which is all fine. It is all great because we want more physicality sometimes in the midfield. We want more dynamism in the attack sometimes and all this stuff. Saying that, this is not the time to experiment. In a final, you don't pull off weird stuff. You stick to what you know with a little adjustments, and you go from there. You have your game plan, you have your tactics, you have your eyes set on the prize, and you just go for it. Let's just put it that way. Like, there is no other way to describe this and say this. Big up, Hendon. Big up, Hendon. Hope you're doing well. I understand. Friday for me as well. Hell of a busy day. Going with the flow and see what happens. Let's just put it that way. That's how I see this. But yeah, this would be my 11 for the Spurs game. Well, City game. Let's just put it that way. This would be me. This would be my 11. Let's just put it that way. I would drop Saka for the final. I get it. I absolutely get it. The thing is, you would drop him. I would want Saka start on the left and Madueke on the right and all this stuff. But saying that this is a final, Arteta will stick to what he knows and what has worked throughout the season against Leverkusen, against Everton. Basically, he's going to stick with what he has gone where he is right now. And that means Saka on the right. And it is what it is. And to be honest, personally as well, I would not drop Saka on a day when we play final. I would not do that. Because Saka still somehow, every single time, manages in these big games, even though his performances might be hella suspect and hella questionable, he still manages to get points on the board, so to speak. He still manages to get GA against these teams. So I would not put it past him that this game, he has a very good start. Then he just drops off and has the stinker of a lifetime. And at some point, randomly, he gets a wing, an in-swinging cross, a corner cross, or a shot off, which results in a goal. Like, seriously. If Timber is not fully fit, then do not play him on Sunday. That Wembley pitch is a bastard for making unfit players injured. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, this is the best 11 available for us at the moment. If Timber is not fit, this is the best 11 for us available to the day. We could speak about, for example, starting Trossard, but Trossard, if I'm not mistaken, is still injured, isn't he? Arsenal injuries. Let me check this. PremierLeagueInjuries.com. Premier Injuries or whatever it is. At the moment, Merino is out. Nobody cares. Odegaard and Timber. So Trossard technically is back, but for Trossard in this game, I think Trossard would be more influential off the bench than Martinelli. Or other way around, Trossard should start, and Martinelli would be more influential off the bench. Saying that, after that red card that Etsy had, Trossard got like a, well, let's be real, idiot. I'm not so sure Arteta has forgotten that, and we know that he is a bit of a spiteful little man. So there could be a problem with that as well. But overall, I like that left wing. It's always in different ways. It's screwed up, no matter how you look at it. So the question is, do you want to start a bit more technical but more slower player to basically cause chaos with his dribbling abilities, and then towards the second part of the game in the second half, you sub on Martinelli to run his socks off and basically try to pounce on hella tired defenders? Or you start Martinelli just so we have that defensive cover. Saying that, we don't have Calafiori or Nuno Savage or Kivior at left back. We have Hincapié. And we all know that Hincapié actually is a very capable left back. He's fantastic left back, let's be real for us. So Martinelli actually might not be the best option because defensively, we might not need him as much. So we actually might start Leandro Trossard. I would not be against it. If he's fully fit and available, I would not be against that. Let's just put it that way. I think Saka performs better with White behind him. Yeah, that's definitely true. Saka will start for the PR bollocks. Mainly, I can see him getting injured. I would not be surprised if he gets injured. If is White fully fit? Is fit alone? What? I cannot speak. Is White fully fit, let alone match fit, and a reliability that Wembley? Who started right back against Leverkusen? Who started right back against Leverkusen? If I'm not mistaken, that was Mr. Ben White, wasn't it? And he had actually a very decent game. Ben White started. Well, he had a decent game for the amount of he has played. But we don't have a right back. So if Timber is not fit, it has to be Ben White. So it is what it is. You basically take it under the chin, like, so to speak. Like, there is no, you can say what you want, but it's never going to work. Mosquera is a known right back. Well, the thing is, Mosquera has played as a right back for Valencia. He has been semi-decent there for Arsenal. But based on the last game when he started center back for Arsenal, he was absolute, well, shit show. Let's just put it that way. Gabriel had to cover his ass every step he made. I don't want to see him start. He's still too young and too raw for these type of games. Ben White at least has some experience with this and how to play against Man City. Mosquera doesn't have it that much, let's be real. So, for me, we have no options. It has to be Ben White. It has to be Ben White, let's just put it that way. For me, at least. So, yeah. As I said, I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. I said I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. Whatever Arteta wins this season, he must go one better than this season. Well, true, to be honest. If he wins Carabao, well, saying that depends on what he wins this season as well. Because if he wins nothing, he might get no chance to win anything next season because he might be gone in the summer. Let's be real. But then it depends what he wins. If he wins Champions League, the Premier League is the next big thing he has to win. If he wins a treble, the only thing how you can top a treble is do a quad. And let's be real, that is pretty much impossible. So if he does a treble, for example, I know I'm speaking very hypothetically, hopium, copium, salt and nitrous and helium and all this stuff, and we are breathing here. But overall speaking, yeah, there is no improvements on those. So it depends. It strictly depends on what he wins this season. Strictly depends. Big up, doctor. Big up, le doctor. Hope you're doing well. Hope the vino is tasting nice these days. Hope Friday is treating you well. And of course, tomorrow's Saturday, a day off. So hopefully you can enjoy it with beautiful sunshine and rays and all this stuff. And of course, don't forget, Sunday Arsenal play. They play. It's usually 9 time for you. So enjoy that. If he doesn't win anything, everyone should be, 100%. If he wins nothing, everyone should go. Like, that goes without saying. If they win nothing, he should go. 100%. Like, there is no reason why to keep him if he falls short again this season in every single competition. Oh, we went one step further. We got to a final of Carabao Cup, even though last year we were semi. That's not enough. It's not enough. Getting to a final, unless it's even only way it's Champions League, but it's then again not enough. You need to win trophies. Without trophies, there are no discussions for me personally for keeping him if he doesn't win trophies. Like, it is what it is. After all this time and all this money spent, you need to deliver the goods. We need to see the armpits, and that is the only thing we want to see. There are no excuses. And after all this time, by the way, adding to that, it has to be a major. Winning Carabao Cup or FA Cup, if you get that far, by the way, in FA Cup, it's also not enough. Because you need the major. At the end of the day, you need to get a major. There are no ins, whats, buts about it. Let's just put it that way. You definitely need the major. The rest of the stuff, it's not it. Let's just put it that way. Moving on. Today, it got announced from Thomas Tuchel announced the call-ups for England international games to play 2 friendlies against Uruguay and, yes, Moldova. So England are playing against Uruguay and Moldova, right? It's Uruguay and Moldova. Yeah. No, Japan, sorry. Uruguay and Japan, not Moldova, Japan. Uruguay and Japan. They play against Uruguay on Friday, and they play against Japan on Tuesday, March 31st. So it's basically that. It's Uruguay and Japan. So they're going to play against Tomiyasu and Lucas Torreira, basically. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, TJF hell for a week. Looking forward to some drinks and R&R. Yeah. Not Carabao Cup, though. You're not looking towards Carabao Cup. Huh? That England squad is very not like with England. It's always a weird thing. Whenever England picks the squad, there are always some weird random, well, not random, but you get what I mean. Random guys who get in that should not be in it. Then you leave out some of the main guys that actually should be in it, and you take about 60 goalkeepers. You take everyone, but you don't take the ones that you actually need at the end of the day. But yeah, from Arsenal, called up to England squad, it is Bukayo Saka, Noni Madueke, Declan Rice, and of course, Eberechi Eze. They all have been called up to the England squad for the upcoming friendlies against Uruguay and Japan. Now, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it. But if anyone from this goddamn international duty comes back with a knock, with a limp, with a twisted hair, or anything, Tuchel should just not Tuchel, sorry. Arsenal should just get, I don't know what. Should be slapped across the face like that. Because let's be real, Arsenal are in a position where we need the players to rest because Arteta has overplayed them and mismanaged them. Their fitness is in the gutter. And now these guys are going to international duty at the end of the day. They're going to international duty, which at the end of the day means they're going to play more games. They're going to be risked for more injuries. And we all know that playing against Uruguay is no piece of cake. They play rough, they play hard, and they could be done over. Japan is a bit more technical, a bit more quicker and agile. Again, with Arsenal and their bad knees and hamstrings and ACLs and everything, again, it could go south real quick. So it is a bit of a worry. Every time any of our players get called up to the international duties, right? I'm fearful. Because obviously, back in the day, we didn't have too many good players, right? And we always got very scared when they got called up, the good ones. Right now, we have actually more of them. The issue is the backups are very underwhelming to certain positions, right? So I'm looking at this, that if the main guys go down, or even the backups that get called up go down, well, we're screwed. Let's be real, we are screwed. And that is basically the price when you are a big club, because most of your players are going to international duty, and at the end of the day, if things go south, you could pay some very big price for that, season type wise. Not looking forward to the Carabao Cup. Man City are a wonderful wounded animal, and those can sometimes be the most dangerous ones. Yeah, when their backs are against the wall, they are their most dangerous. And let's be real, nothing, and I mean nothing, no man is more dangerous than a man who has literally nothing to lose. And at that point, you know that you are in a deep trouble. Let's just put it that way. So it could go south real quick. It's definitely against City. It's going to be a rough battle. It's going to be a war. Let's be real, against City. It is going to be a war, and I don't expect an easy game by any means. The question is, can we do it? No, not as much can we do it, because we definitely can do it. Will we do it? That is the big question. Will we do it? James Trafford is going to start against Arsenal. That just means that James Trafford is going to have very, 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 very good game. Because usually the goalkeepers that play against us become god level when they play against us. Oh, breaking news, by the way, from today. Arsenal owner Josh Kroenke has arrived in London for Carabao Cup crap final. Holy crap. I said Carabao crap final. I'm very sorry. Carabao Cup final. And apparently Stan Kroenke also may be in attendance. Holy crap. We have actually the lords of the Netherrealm we're gonna have in the stadium. They gonna be there. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with this one. Yeah. Definitely. Rest in peace. An icon, a cult hero, a legend in its own way. Fantastic memes, fantastic TV shows, fantastic acting, fantastic personality. Big part of my childhood, by the way. So yeah, rest in peace, Chuck Norris. Rest in peace, Mr. Chuck Norris. And you know, as they say, Chuck Norris does not fear death. The death fears Chuck Norris. Those memes back in the day were legendary. Seriously, those days were legendary. That means if Arsenal lose, Arteta is like, hallelujah. Yeah, you switched real quick. You switched from confident. You switched from, oh, I'm so confident for the game, we gonna win and everything, to, hey, if he loses, he's sacked. Hallelujah, let's go. You switch real quick, Albo. Like, seriously. I'm not worried about Man City. For me, Arsenal there. Yeah, at the end of the day, for me, yes. Yes, that's the biggest thing. As much as City is a threat, Arsenal are the threat to themselves as well. No matter how you look at it, Arsenal are, to a degree, the biggest threat to themselves. And not because they're bad or they have issues. It's just the fact that they have lack of experience in these stages and in these type of games. And one wrong move, one wrong situation can damage everything long term. And that is the biggest thing here. So you know when the Palace City game will be played, or it was not decided yet? Let's check this, by the way. Nah, still to be determined. It's still not confirmed. It's still not confirmed from what I can see. Oh no, never mind. Man City versus Palace. There we go. Man City. Oh no, it's still to be determined. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's still to be determined. Man City are selling tickets, by the way, at Etihad. Are they doing it at Etihad? No? Just Man City are selling the tickets already at Etihad. Already. With hospitality and everything. So I think that the date has been decided. It's going to be very, very soon, though, I think. Because even if you look at City's schedule, right? We can quickly look at Man City's schedule in this regard. Look at this. See, it still says that it's postponed and time to be determined, right? But look, they play us, then there's international break. They play on the 4th, 12th, 19th, right? So the only way they can actually get some games in is somewhere in here, because they still have not, these games have not been determined. All these games are still up in the air. See? 2nd May and time is still to be determined, which means most of the time this type of game is gonna be somewhere shoved between these 4 games. In an ideal scenario, by the way, it would be straight after Chelsea, because it's an away game. They need to play at home, and they need then Arsenal at home. The thing is, 12 to 97 days. In between these 2 games, Chelsea and Arsenal, they can easily, and I mean easily, put in a game. Between Liverpool and Chelsea, it's a bit harder for them. Let's just put it that way. After Arsenal, it's a 5-day, 6-7 day break. It's definitely going to be a rough one. Definitely going to be a rough one. Exactly. Actually, Palace are in the Europa Conference League, so they can't play City in some of the quarterfinal final weeks. So I'm telling you, it's gonna be an interesting one, because it still has not been determined, and it's gonna be a rough one. The longer Palace stay in the Conference League, the more that game is gonna be postponed. Let's just put it that way. I think. I genuinely believe so. It's the longer it's gonna take. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, time will tell. I'm actually very curious when this game between City and Palace is going to take place, because the longer they do not decide, the more issues they might have with the times and everything. Because the further also Palace go in this competition, the more their hand will be forced to actually do some stuff. The more their hand will be forced to basically just shove the game somewhere, just randomly, because, well, City have time, but Palace don't, so they will have to randomly put it somewhere. And let's be real, UEFA is not going to postpone the games just because of some sort of a Man City game. So they will have to figure out a way. And if they go till the finals, it might be a very long one. It might be a long one for City and Palace. Because that game, actually, no matter how you look at it, so one way or another, that kind of very directly influences the title race as well. Because if this game against Palace, right, is being played before Arsenal game in mid-April, it could definitely cause some shenanigans, especially if City win, because then it's going to be a 4-point gap, and that will give extra motivation for City in that game at Etihad. Right? If it's getting played after the Etihad, then this game heavily depends on the result at Etihad. Because if Arsenal win at Etihad, this game against Palace almost means nothing. It's going to be 10 points, and even if they win, it's going to be 7 again, so they're going to do nothing. However, if Arsenal drop points at Etihad, then we can talk once again. I think this Palace game actually carries more weight than actually people imagine to a degree. But again, as I said, it heavily depends on how the situation unfolds in Premier League for City and Arsenal in this title race. In my opinion, at least. But people probably are going to disagree with me. So, hey, what do I know, right? Just a couch surfer. Couch potato football fan, right? I just put it that way. Or imagine we fall 3 or 2 points behind City by the end of 38 and no one can win the title until after City played that game and had to postseason. Can you imagine, by the way, if City lose that game? Right? Can you imagine the scenes? Like, serious talk. Because, let's just say, if that game actually decides something, it's going to be nuts. I still believe that the winner of the Sunday's game in Carabao Cup final between Arsenal and City, the team that's winning, that's going to win, is going to carry extra momentum emotionally into all of this. The further Palace progressing Europe Conference means more chances they'll field a weakened side against City. True, exactly, because at some point, FA are going to force a game somewhere because they will not be able to, and they cannot wait after the season finishes, after everyone plays 38 games, and then they just have to sit tight and wait until let's just say the final of the gets played. They cannot. That means they will have to force the hand and basically at some point just squeeze the game in midweek. At some point, when there is no Conference League, no Champions League, no nothing. Right? And we'll see how that's going to go. But also, let's not forget, we cannot also, as I said, forget that City are still in FA Cup. So if City beat Liverpool, they advance further. So if that continues with the same pattern again to the semifinals and all this stuff, again, then it's going to come from both ends. Can you imagine this? Obviously, semifinal is just one game, but at the same time, if it gets forced again midweek, both teams could put weakened squads. Saying that, Man City's weakened squad is better than, well, let's just say a big part of Premier League squad. So it's going to be a very interesting one. That FA Cup as well is playing a bit of a cruel trick on that in that regard. It's Conference League and FA Cup. Watch Chelsea beat City just to pass off their supporters in helping. Like that is like if that happens, if Chelsea beats City, oh my days, that will be the be all end all, isn't it? Because like there are memes, for example, about Spurs as well. Every single team is doing their due diligence to get Spurs relegated. Then they go to Anfield and they draw. Liverpool give them a point. Like, why? Liverpool are the only ones. So I know it's a bit ironic and it's a bit like funny and all this stuff, but I think Matisse is going to be hella pissed off if Chelsea beats City, and that helps us win the league. Let's be real. It's going to be quite insane. But with City's defense, to be honest, I would not be surprised. Let's just put it that way. Genuinely would not be surprised. By the way, there is a Premier League game happening at the moment, and it's 0-0 between it's halftime. It's 0-0 between Bournemouth and Manchester United. And it looks like the game, yeah, United are more dominating the game than anything, but it looks very even besides the shots. Liverpool had their eye on Galatasaray when they played Spurs. Maybe, but it also didn't seem like that because, although, no, never mind. It seemed like that just because of the energy and the selflessness, everything they put out on the pitch against Galatasaray. It was like night and day compared to Spurs game. Saying that, Galatasaray are notoriously well known for being shit away from home. So that is kind of nothing. It, as much as it looks great on paper, they won for nothing. Salah got injured. God knows how long he's going to be out for, or if he's going to be out for. It looked like a great performance and everything. At the same time, it's Galatasaray. They are not good away team. Let's be real. They couldn't beat even RFS in last year in Europa League and everything. So it's definitely that type of thing. I can see City vs Spurs being played in the midweek before the end of Premier League season final match. Yeah, could be the case, but that, again, 100% somebody's going to complain because, wait, if I'm not mistaken, Arsenal play Crystal Palace in the last game week, don't they? I generally don't know the schedule by heart, so let me. No, wait, game week 38. Yeah, Arsenal play Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. And City, by the way, and that game could be very insane. Man City play Aston Villa at the Etihad. So it definitely could be a bit of a unfair situation for both teams. See, City play Villa on the game week 38 at Etihad. And of course, then Arsenal is there, who play Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park as well at the same time. I assume it's going to be like, 4 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. UK time, some crap like that. And no, 3 p.m. or something, yeah. And it's going to be, and then we're going to go from there. And forcing a game before that, I think it's not going to be good. It's not going to work like that. It might not be as... I cannot even imagine in which place, like logically speaking, the FA actually can squeeze that game in. I actually cannot imagine that. Forget about Villa, as Emery is only going for the... Yeah, true. But if he wants to qualify in Champions League to get more money to spend, because Aston Villa are in a bit of a pickle regarding that, well, he needs that Champions League spot. Whether he's going to get it or not, that's a completely different story. Definitely completely different story. But hey, at the moment, like, it is what it is. But can you imagine if that game, right? To get top 4, Villa has to win. That could be an insane game at Etihad. That is one thing I actually love. I really like the big idea and the execution behind last game week being played all at the same time. Because if the points are close, nobody knows what's happened, nobody can park the bus or anything. You just go with the flow. Obviously, today with this day and age, with the technology, everyone knows what's happening, right? And the fans also celebrate in the stands if something goes wrong for the team that they are fighting against. Saying that, it really pisses me off because many times these last game week games, the 38, when everything's on the line for certain teams, are some of the most enjoyable games to watch. And the fact that they are all on at the same time, as much as I can watch about 4 or 5 games at the same time on the screens, right? Still pisses me off. I would love to see would like to watch all of the games, but unfortunately I can't because they all happen at the same time. I like the concept behind it, but as a football fan, it is hell annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely hell of annoying. By the way, for England's under-21 team, England's under-21 team, Setford, Skelly, well, technically Norton Cuffy, but he's not an Arsenal player anymore. Okay, Skelly, Setford, and Vanieri. 3 Arsenal players. 3 Arsenal players in under-21 team. When the FA Cup semi-finals are on that weekend is a Premier League one too, so Arsenal may have to reschedule the Premier League match that coincides with the FA Cup semi-finals. We need to get that first. I realize we have a very favorable draw against Southampton to get into the semi-finals, right? Saying that, the way we have looked against Southampton over the years, and especially since that game is at St. Mary's, would not jump ahead of myself at the time. Let's just do this one step at a time. Let's first deal with City, hopefully. Then we have international break. We all come back injury and scar-free, hopefully. And then we play against Southampton, which is arguably the worst time to play Southampton because they are still kind of unbeaten at home in a very long time. Big team players after international break don't look great, let's be real. And at St. Mary's away, since we have lots of players going international duty, they have pretty much almost quite a few, just a few. And we don't do well against Southampton. Definitely, it's going to be a very, very rough one. Genuinely, it's going to be a rough one. And I don't even know what to expect and how to expect it because that is definitely one of those games which I am very cautious about. Genuinely cautious to the maximum degree. Obviously, I cannot move my finger on it like everything exactly, but definitely that is one of those games that, yeah, I'm very, very cautious about. Very cautious to say the least. So we'll see how that's going to go and where we're going to land with that. But hey, I guess it is what it is in that regard because that game has some major upsets all over it. Yeah, exactly. Southampton actually in a shut up. They are in a great form, and St. Mary's they are a very good team. So definitely, I expect some. I'm not gonna say issues, but definitely struggles, especially if we rotate because we have to. And the players back from international break, they will need some rest and everything. We'll see. But people, I think on that note, we're going to end today's stream. Big up to everyone. Hope you're doing great. Hope you had a great stay. Hope you had a great weekend. But for today, I'm going to be signing off. I hope to see you all tomorrow. So like the stream, subscribe if you're new. I'm sending you to Tony Claude, Gunner TV. So people, Latvian Gunner Raid, drop some subs, likes, and comments, and see you very